If it's not right, if you don't have it right, write it down. And
Wouldn't it go this way for 3?
no, if you only have $60 to spend, you need this side to be less than or equal to 60. All right, and then you just plug in 6, and it's 72 is not less than or equal to 60, so you can't buy 6 CDs. What, Bailey?
It doesn't say anywhere about buying 6 CDs.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's do the rest of this. I'm glad you did that puzzle because you should be pretty solid at graphing, and we're going to do a little bit of that in here. So, the lowest elevation recorded in the U.S. is negative 282 feet at Death Valley, California. Has anybody ever been there?
No.
You take that out of your ear, Clark, just so I know you're not distracted. Thank you. I've not been there either. All right. Use this fact to write and graph an inequality that describes the elevation in the U.S. So I'm going to use an E for elevation.
Isn't elevation up?
How up and down? It could be down compared to sea level. Okay. So this is the lowest point in the U.S. So the elevation in the U.S. otherwise is going to be bigger than this number or less than this number?
Less.
No, this is the lowest. That means all the other elevation's going to be greater than or equal to that number.
I should
Okay.
just whatever I write, just make it opposite.
No. Oh, you'll get used to it. You just have to practice. So that means, because it says write a graph and inequality that describes the elevation in the U.S. If this is the lowest point, then any other elevation is higher than that. Okay? The elevation is greater than or equal to negative 282. Now, for me, graphing, I'm not saying it's bad how other people do it, but I feel like all you need to show me is 0 and the number that you're working with. So I know that you know where this number is sort of in relation to 0. I don't really care if you don't put other numbers. You have to have 0. Yeah, and now we're going to graph this. And this line represents the elevation. So is it going to be a solid dot or an open circle?
Open. Dot, circle.
It includes this number, so it's a solid dot.
It's going to go to
And which way is
right.
bigger, this way or this way? It's going to go to the right. So you draw an arrow that way. Okay?
I usually just put a line and go.
All right, be careful. You got to put an arrow because it keeps going forever.
True.
Okay? All right, write an inequality. Now this is a little different. We're given the graph and we have to write the inequality. But after you did that practice sheet, you should be able to do this. So, x. Which way is it going? Less than or greater than 4? Less than. And it's, oh wait, I went too fast. Why did I put the line underneath?
Because it's very close.
It includes 4. Okay, so I want you to write that. X is less than or equal to 4. And I'm going to have you write a little bit of something up here. Just in case when you go back and work on it, you don't remember. Solid dot when you have less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. Because it includes the given number. It means x could be 4 as well in this one. And then you use an open circle when you have less than or greater than with no line underneath.
What did you mean by the first part?
What? Where?
Like, I understand it, but what did you mean? What you said for the first part with the solid dot?
I don't know what you mean. Solid dot. It's everything less than or equal to 12. So according to your graph, is negative 21 a solution?
No.
It's everything less than 12. Is 11.5 a solution? Yes? Is 12.5 a solution? No. Do you get what you're doing here? What you're representing. You're representing everything x could be. All right, let's move through these a little quicker then. So here, m minus 3.8, I'm going to solve for m by adding 3.8 to both sides. And m is still less than negative 1 plus 3.8 is 2.8. Doesn't matter if it's a decimal. It's okay. We're going to put 0 and we're going to put 2.8. Is it a solid dot or an open circle?
Open circle.
And it goes everything less than, that's M. So can 2.79 be a solution to this inequality? 2.79.
No.
Yeah.
It's still less than 2.8. Can 2.8 be a solution to this inequality?
Oh wait, no, there's no line.
It's an open circle, and there's no line underneath. Okay? All right, let's keep going. So this says M minus 1/2, so I got to add 1/2 to both sides.
But first we can flip it.
Yeah, not yet. Let's do this first. -1, add 1/2. Where am I going to end up at?
Negative.
-1/2. Okay. As Amanda was saying, you can leave it like this. My preference, it just makes me twitch when it's on the side, is I like to rewrite it with M on the left side. See how this is pointing to M? When you rewrite it, it still has to point to M.
This can be flipped.
So these two are the same thing. You don't have to flip it, but it's easier to graph if the variable's on the left side. Okay, so here is 0, here is -1/2. Solid dot or open circle?
Solid.
And I'm going to go less than.
Wait, why would it be?
M is less than or equal to -1/2.
Oh no.
Because I flipped it.
Wait, why would you put the 0 on the
Because this is a negative number and it's smaller than 0.
Oh, okay.
Okay, is -3/4 a solution?
Yes.
That would be right here, wouldn't it? Sort of? -3/4, correct? Is -1/4 a solution?
Yep.
No.
Where's -1/4? It's going to be here. Just something to think about, okay? All right, let's do another one. Subtract 5.5. I think you're getting the hang of this. 5.5. Y is greater than 0.5. So put your 0, put your 0.5.
Wait, wouldn't it be 4.5?
No. If you have 6, let's say you have 6 cookies and you take away 5.5, how many cookies you got left? 1/2. Right?
Oh, okay.
What? 0.5, which is 1/2. All right, open circle to the right. That represents everything Y could be. Let's do the last one, -7, -7. B is less than -4. So put 0, -4. Okay, so sometimes kids forget that this number that you end up with here, that's what you're going to use on your graph, right? I mean, some of you would say, yeah, obviously, but other people sometimes get confused by that. That's what you use on your graph. And then it's going to be an open circle, and you go to the left. That's everything B could be. All right, this is from 1.4. These were some words that we talked about when we did see inequalities before. If they help you, you may need them, you may not, but let's talk about this. You're shopping for bicycles. The type you want costs at least $185. Does that mean it could be more than that?
Yes.
You've saved 97 so far. Find the possible amounts you need to save to buy the bicycle you want. So X is, and I'm going to write this down, the dollar amounts I need to save still. That's what X represents. How much money I need to save still. So I have whatever I have to save still plus what I've already saved, which is what? And I know I got to have 185 over here. So does this part of this have to be greater than 185, or does this have to be less than 185? It's got to be greater than or equal to 185. It helps if you write both sides first and then figure out what goes in the middle. Okay? Then figure this out. So now you subtract 97, subtract 97. X is greater than or equal to 88. Which means what to our problem? You have to save at least $88 or more.
Do you want us to do graphing or no?
Does it say?
No.
Nope.
I'm asking the question.
Nope. Okay. All right. So that is it. Let's just review. You've got to be able to recognize what this is. You got to be able to solve inequalities and graph them. Okay?